Boxing Nation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. We've got a stacked card of news and matchups that could reshape the entire sport. Jaron boots Ennis, who is moving up to 154 pounds to test himself against Uisma Lima. Keith one-time Thurman faces the towering inferno Sebastian Fundora in a true crossroads fight. Vergil Ortiz Jr. collides with Erickson Lubin. And at middleweight, Terrence Bud Crawford is looking to move down to middleweight to solidify himself as a 6th division world champion, 4-time undisputed in the 4-belt era. And then for your favorite segment, on this day in boxing history, let's break this all down. Jaron boots Ennis is 34 wins, 0 losses, and 30 big wins coming by way of knockout. Is one of the brightest stars in boxing. At 27 years old, he's already proven himself at welterweight with speed, reflexes, and switch hitting ability, and knockout power in both hands. That has people calling him the heir to the pound-for-pound throne. Now he's moving up to 154 pounds to fight Uisma Lima. Uisma Lima is 14 wins, 1 loss, and 10 big wins coming by way of knockout. A Cuban fighter with a rugged pressure, respectable knockout power, and an awkward style. Uisma Lima isn't undefeated, but he's dangerous in the trenches. Jaron boots Ennis has to control the distance with his jab, keep Uisma Lima turning, and gradually break him down with angles, similar to what he did to Roy Monvilla. Jaron boots Ennis has to control the distance with his jab and keep Uisma Lima turning and gradually breaking him down with angles. Jaron boots Ennis's IQ and shot selection should make the difference in this fight. He can't allow Jaron boots Ennis to get comfortable. He needs to cut off the ring, force inside exchanges, and test Jaron boots Ennis' chin, 54 pounds. This fight will tell us if Jaron boots Ennis is about to dominate another division or if Uisma Lima can be a much tougher test than what people expect. Let me know what you guys think about this fight in the comments below. Jaron boots Ennis versus Uisma Lima. We also have Keith one-time Thurman, who is 31 wins, 1 draw, and 23 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is back, but the question is, can he still be elite? His only loss was to Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao back in 2019, and inactivity has been his biggest enemy, though he's come back and he fought Brock and he beat him. Still, when Keith one-time Thurman is locked in, his footwork, timing, and explosive right hand can be trouble for anyone. He's taking on Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora, who is 23 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 15 big wins coming by way of knockout. Towering Inferno's Sebastian Fundora is one of the strangest fighters in boxing. Despite his freakish height, he often gives up his reach to fight on the inside. That cost him badly against Brian Mendoza and nearly against Erickson Lubin. Brian Mendoza knocked him out in 2023, and Erickson Lubin dropped him. And, it was pretty bad. But he got up and he still won the fight against Erickson Lubin. Keith one-time Thurman, his keys to victory is to stay on his toes in this fight. He has to time Sebastian Fundora coming in and avoid getting trapped. He has to use his lateral movement and ring IQ to frustrate the taller Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora, this time he must use his length. He has to pop his jab, throw volume, and force Keith one-time Thurman to work harder than he wants to at this stage in his career. This is a crossroads fight. Keith one-time Thurman fighting to remain relevant. Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora fighting for legacy. This might be one of the most explosive fights on the horizon. We have Vergil Ortiz Jr., who is 23 wins, 0 losses, and 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is a machine. He is a relentless pressure fighter, a brutal body punching machine, and he has one of the highest KO percentages in the sport at 91%. Every time he steps in the ring, fans expect fireworks, but he's facing Erickson the Hammer Lubin, who has 27 wins, 2 losses, 19 big wins coming by way of knockout. A seasoned southpaw who's been in with elite fighters. Erickson the Hammer Lubin has shown heart, grit, and knockout power of his own. He's been stopped before, but always comes back strong. Vergil Ortiz Jr. must close the gap extremely early, but he has to be smart about it. He has to avoid getting clipped by Erickson the Hammer Lubin's counter punches and target the body early. For Erickson the Hammer Lubin, he must use his southpaw jab to offset Vergil Ortiz, tie Vergil Ortiz up when he's on the inside, and stay disciplined. If he gets drawn into a slugfest, it could end brutally for Erickson the Hammer Lubin. Let me know what you guys think about this fight in the comments below. Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson the Hammer Lubin. Now, at middleweight, it's in flux right now. If Terrence Bud Crawford moves back down after just becoming a 5-division world champion, 3-time undisputed for beating Saul Canelo Alvarez, who might be the second best Mexican greatest fighter of all time, right next to Julio Cesar Chavez. If Terrence Bud Crawford decides to move down to middleweight and maybe fight the likes of Carlos Adames, who is 24 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. A young, powerful fighter with the seek and destroy style. He's extremely aggressive. He's extremely smart. He's hungry, and he's looking for legacy fights. We have Erislandy Lara, who is 41 years old. He has 31 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 19 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is a Cuban veteran, but he's still slick, crafty, and one of the best counterpunchers in boxing today. We also have Jermall Charlo, who is 34 wins, 0 losses, and 23 big wins coming by way of knockout. The undefeated power-punching Texan who's been sidelined with inactivity but remains the division's biggest name. And then we also have Zanabek. That fight can also be something tremendous. Any pairing here is extremely exciting. Adames' pressure, Lara's slickness, Charlo's power. This all can make for exciting fights and exciting matchups. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Terrence Bud Crawford versus any of these guys at middleweight and attempting to unify the belts to become 6th division world champion, 4-time undisputed. Something never seen before, especially not in the 4-belt era. Now, for your favorite segment, on this day in boxing history, on October 1st, 1975, the world witnessed one of the greatest and most brutal fights in boxing history. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier 3, better known as Thrilla in Manila. Held in Quezon City, Philippines, this was the first and final chapter of their legendary rivalry. Muhammad Ali had won the rematch in 1974, but Joe Frazier was determined to settle the score. What unfolded was 14 rounds of relentless, punishing action that pushed both men to the brink of collapse. Muhammad Ali later said that it was the closest thing to dying he had ever experienced in the ring. By the 14th round, Joe Frazier's corner, led by Eddie Foch, stopped the fight, not just because Joe wanted to quit, but because his trainer refused to let him endure more punishment. Muhammad Ali collapsed on his stool after the victory, drained of everything he had. The Thrilla in Manila wasn't just a fight. It was a war of willpower, endurance, and heart. A battle that symbolized the very essence of boxing. Nearly 50 years later, it still stands as one of the sport's most defining moments. Let me know what you guys think about this fight in the comments below. October 1st, 1975, Muhammad Ali versus Smoking Joe Frazier 3. But that wraps up my segments for today. From Jaron Boots Ennis moving up to 154 pounds to take on Uisma Lima, to Keith One-Time Thurman versus Sebastian the Towering Inferno Fundora, to Vergil Ortiz Jr. versus Erickson Lubin. We also have Terrence Bud Crawford looking to take on the unified champion 160 pounds, which is Zanabek. And if he defeats this guy, he becomes a 6th division world champion, 4-time undisputed champion. And that's something that's never been seen, especially
shows off his power jab
era.
as he stated.
And then the legendary Thrilla in Manila. Boxing is alive and thriving. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss out on an update. But this is ZA Boxing Nation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.